Today the main topic is a rather philosophical one. I will try to discuss computer science. So I believe that uh, from one perspective, the perspective of artificial intelligence. So basically, I want to discuss the point of artificial intelligence mostly, but it's not just that. So, uh, in my opinion, in my opinion, looking to the future, uh, computer science should take up the role of uh, creating life without free will and without consciousness. So this is a rough. These are rough thoughts. But if we have artificial intelligence, where artificial means without free will and without consciousness, so artificial intelligence doesn't mean that. Uh, the artificial intelligencists, artificial intelligencists, uh, they try to create humans from robots, and I think this is wrong. So we should make every possible effort, in my humble opinion, at least in the beginning, not yet. We're not ready to create a conscious life with free will. So I know this sounds kind of strange, but I think it's possible. um, I'm a scientist here. I'm talking academically, okay? So I hope this is clear. I have the right to do that. And so if we create life without consciousness and without free will and maybe other characteristics I don't know very well now. So basically, if you program a robot or a software to act independently of you, this is not free will. Right? Free will is something completely different, intuitively. So if you give some sort of, in quotes, ethical rules by which sort of artificial intelligence program should operate, that doesn't mean you create humans or that they have their own intelligence. So the resolution, so there is a center I used to remember at Cambridge where it is about the study of this. So we should study free will very much and study consciousness very much. But artificial life without free will and without consciousness could save humanity from the notion of condemning people to be working class. But if these constructions of the mind assume consciousness and free will, then it is not clear we have achieved anything because they will be enslaved as well. So I remember having read in the past some text in his website by Yoav Freund. I admire his work, but I have mostly associated his work with Rob Shapiro, whom I know personally. I don't know Yoav Freund personally, but I'm sure he's a great person. A terrible, I wanted to say in the good sense. Um, Terrific was probably the right word. A terrific person. And so he had mentioned some thoughts on artificial intelligence. And these thoughts on artificial intelligence say that we shouldn't worry about consciousness. I think he was referring to consciousness. And in my opinion, we should worry about consciousness a lot because if we create artificial intelligence with consciousness, it is not clear if this is independent of other things that matter. Can you imagine a slave that is incapable of free will? We don't want to create things like that. And so if we have artificial life without free will and without consciousness and pretty much a real robot, this is very good because we can replace. So I recall Bill Gates, they had mentioned that we should tax robots. I don't think so. We shouldn't tax robots. It feels wrong, but I haven't thought about it well. As I am thinking about it loudly, maybe it makes sense. Uh, but if you we tax robots, it's like attributing them human dimensions, whatever human thing, and this is not very good, I think. We should actually try to avoid taxing robots because it's psychological, I think. But I haven't thought about it very well. But it is a very good, it is thinking in a very good direction. And big data, etc. If you take automated actions based on big data. So the very important subject here that is related is Facebook. So my rough blueprint, because I'm a scientist and I write papers, most of them anyway. So I write papers. I'd like to think like when I think of have an idea, as this definition of artificial life, intelligence, etc. I propose. I want to naturally have a blueprint on how to use this idea. So basically, it would be great if artificial intelligence, uh, artificial life objects, we should call them objects because if there is no free will and no consciousness, they are objects. Okay. Whereas, for example, a fruit fly is not an object; it's life. It probably has. So Elon Musk, I don't know, Musk probably had mentioned that we should put consciousness in outer space. You never know. I mean, this thinking is very good, but to save consciousness. Yeah, so now as I'm thinking about loud about it, he meant also fruit flies, probably not just humans. But I don't think we are endangered on Earth by fruit flies. Maybe we are, but I don't think so. Uh, we are endangered by humans. So we should bring, yeah, that's a very noble plan. I was always thinking, like, what does he really mean? We should, yeah. So, but it's an excellent point. Point. So consciousness and free will are things we should at least avoid. In order to avoid them, we should understand what they are. We cannot randomly create things. So Facebook has like a distributed human intelligence that is coupled with machine learning algorithms, etc. So it's an extremely difficult thing to manage. So in my humble opinion, robots should be assigned to humans, and humans should be responsible for understanding their operation and controlling it using knobs. Knobs is an Irish term I'm thinking. So I think Gary Miller, when I was at Acom, I used the word knobs, turned the knobs to, we were working on an intelligent uh, streaming service. I think my non-disclosure agreement does not hold anymore. I think it was 2 years or something. Um, Gary had contacted me to see if we could publish some things, but I said I don't have any notes. Uh, but okay, there is a surprise for Gary Miller in something because he did. I thought a lot about our interaction. It was one very important thing. He was actually also the only person that took me to lunch after I left Akamai. I was wondering because it was strange, only for him to take me to lunch. But yeah, it was very important, and I remember it very warmly. Uh, so, so I think um, so we could define computer science from a scientific perspective as uh, the discipline that investigates questions of uh, life, free will, and consciousness uh, from the perspective of algorithms, etc. I don't know very well, so definitions take a lot to do. So this is just food for thought for this type of thinking. So computer science needs a for me, theoretical computer science is mostly pure math, although many people don't agree with me, even the community. So I like to romantically think of like good computer science, theoretical computer science as pure math. But from a scientific perspective, it is not clear what computer science is, and I would like to suggest that computer science, from a scientific perspective, concerns the question of the study of artificial and non-artificial life in the sense of intelligence and mentality and other things as well. So computer science fits in this edifice, in my opinion, in this way. So okay, thank you. As a small final point, the picture is my interpretation as it is relevant to this diary entry of this idea of an eagle dying free